For much of the early 21st century, many people believed the world had entered a relatively stable era. The Cold War was over. Global trade was expanding. Major powers were deeply connected through economics and technology. But in recent years, that sense of stability has begun to crack. Across different regions of the world, conflicts have intensified. Some are long-running disputes that suddenly escalated. Others are new confrontations between powerful nations. Today, wars and tensions are unfolding simultaneously in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Many analysts are asking the same question: is the world entering a new era of global instability? To understand what is happening today, we have to look at the major conflicts shaping the international landscape. One of the most significant wars in the world today is the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The war began in February 2022 when Russian forces launched a large-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia had previously annexed Crimea in 2014, but the 2022 invasion dramatically escalated the situation. Russian leaders argued that the expansion of NATO toward Russia's borders posed a security threat. Ukraine, however, viewed the invasion as a violation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The conflict quickly became the largest war in Europe since the Second World War. Cities were heavily damaged. Millions of people fled their homes. The international community responded with strong reactions. The United States and many European countries provided military and financial assistance to Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia faced extensive economic sanctions. The war has also changed how many countries think about security and defense. Military spending has increased across much of Europe. Even today, the front lines remain active, with both sides engaged in intense fighting. The outcome of this war will likely shape the political future of Europe for many years. While Europe faces a major war, another intense conflict has drawn global attention in the Middle East. In October 2023, fighters from the Palestinian group Hamas launched a large-scale attack on communities in Israel. The attack resulted in significant casualties and shocked the region. Israel responded with major military operations in Gaza. The conflict quickly became one of the most closely watched crises in the world. Images and reports from the region dominated international news coverage. The war also raised concerns about whether the fighting might expand into a wider regional conflict. Groups aligned with Iran, including militias in several Middle Eastern countries, have shown support for Hamas. At the same time, the United States has maintained strong diplomatic and military support for Israel. The region has experienced decades of tension, but each new escalation increases fears that the conflict could spread further. Diplomatic efforts continue as international leaders try to prevent a wider war in the Middle East. While wars are already taking place in Europe and the Middle East, another region is watched closely by global security experts. That region is East Asia. Tensions between China and Taiwan have been growing for years. China views Taiwan as part of its territory. Taiwan, however, operates as a self-governing democracy with its own political system and military. The situation has become more sensitive as Taiwan plays a crucial role in the global technology supply chain. Taiwanese companies produce a large share of the world as advanced semiconductors, the tiny chips that power smartphones, computers, cars, and many other technologies. Because of this, any conflict around Taiwan could disrupt global industries. The United States has long-standing policies that support Taiwan's ability to defend itself. At the same time, Washington officially recognizes the One China policy. This complex diplomatic arrangement has helped maintain peace for decades, but tensions have increased in recent years. China has conducted large military exercises near Taiwan. Taiwan has strengthened its defenses. While there is no active war in the region today, analysts carefully monitor the situation because of its potential global impact. Beyond these specific conflicts, another trend is becoming increasingly visible. Many countries are significantly increasing their military capabilities. Defense budgets around the world have risen in recent years. Governments are investing in new technologies that could change the nature of warfare. Drones now play a major role on modern battlefields. Cyber attacks can target infrastructure and communication networks. Artificial intelligence is also beginning to influence military planning and surveillance. At the same time, nuclear weapons remain a major concern. Countries such as United States, Russia, and China possess large nuclear arsenals. These weapons create a powerful deterrent against direct conflict between major powers. But they also raise the stakes of international tensions. So why are so many conflicts happening at once? Part of the answer lies in a changing global balance of power. After the Cold War ended in the early 1990s, the United States was widely considered the world's dominant power. But today, the global system is more complex. China has become a major economic and military force. Russia continues to assert influence in its region. Other countries are pursuing their own strategic interests. This shift toward a more multipolar world can sometimes lead to competition and friction between nations. History shows that periods of major geopolitical transition can be unpredictable. However, it is important to recognize something else. Even though the world faces serious conflicts, global diplomacy and international institutions still play a critical role. Organizations such as the United Nations continue to provide platforms for negotiation and conflict resolution. Diplomats from many countries work constantly to reduce tensions and prevent wars from expanding. In many cases, these efforts receive far less attention than the conflicts themselves. But they remain essential to maintaining international stability. So where does the world go from here? No one can predict the future with certainty. Some conflicts may eventually move toward negotiated settlements. Others could remain unresolved for years. What history teaches us is that global stability often depends on diplomacy, cooperation, and careful decision-making by leaders. Even during periods of intense tension, communication between nations can prevent crises from escalating further. Today's world is facing multiple challenges at once. Wars in Europe, violence in the Middle East, strategic rivalry in Asia. Each of these situations carries risks, but they also remind us how interconnected the modern world has become. Events in one region can quickly affect economies, politics, and security across the globe. History rarely moves in straight lines. Periods of conflict are often followed by periods of negotiation and rebuilding. The question facing the world today is not only how these conflicts will end, but what kind of international system will emerge afterward. Because the decisions made during moments like these often shape the future for generations. And right now, the world is watching very closely.